if we look at evolutionary theory, the whole process of evolution that's taken place over billions of years on this planet, billions of years before the first human ever appeared, one might think of it as matter itself evolving to become more and more spiritualized.
Yes, that would be a good way of phrasing it. I think perhaps I'd have a slight little nuance with respect to that, however, and make the comment that the notion of archetypes as cosmic ordering and regulating principles, which are timeless and eternal, and David Bohm's notion of active information as the link between mind and matter, and his idea of humanity participating in a collective mind extending indefinitely beyond the human species as a whole, are very parallel ways of understanding evolution, not just with the arrival of Homo sapiens endowed with reflective consciousness, but that rudimentary mind-like qualities are present throughout the universe, and we can think of them as the imprint of the cosmic archetypes as ordering and regulating principles, or David Bohm's quantum information.
The idea of evolution, particularly as it might apply to culture, was inconsistent.
It was inconsistent with their traditional theology and with the still held widely belief in human beings having descended from an original primordial couple, namely the Adam and Eve story in Genesis. That was the way things were before Vatican II, and a lot has changed since then. Largely, I think, due to the influence of people like Todd and the added influence of people like Sir Julian Huxley, the evolutionary biologist, who provided a glowing endorsement of Todd's thought in Todd's magnum opus, The Phenomenon of Man.
But maybe you could provide a little background as to what that phrase, the alpha and the omega, and particularly the omega, refers to.
But in traditional theology, the alpha and the omega are part of the Easter liturgy, which has direct reference to the incarnation of Christ and various matters of Catholic doctrine. But I think understood more deeply, we're talking about an archetypal process, and Todd's notion of an omega point being thoroughly inseminated by the evolutionary thought, for which he was silenced prior to Vatican II. And as we've discussed previously, he's not only has a feast day with the Episcopalian Church in the United States, he is being considered for canonization in the Roman Catholic Church, who silenced him in his lifetime. However, I think what you may want to talk about is more not just the omega point as a concept, but the omega point as the culmination of an entire evolutionary process where consciousness and the divine are consummated in mystical union. The day will come when, after harnessing space, the winds, the tides and gravitation, we shall harness for God the energies of love, and on that day, for the second time in the history of the world, we shall have discovered fire.